Today was a beautiful day to continue our series called The Dawning. Although you're not here in the morning, you're here in the afternoon, but you hopefully got up sometime and saw part of the dawn. Yeah, maybe. You got up and had your quiet time and saw the dawn. Say yes. Very good. Oh, I'm so proud of you. And so we continue our series on the dawning. And so I just am so grateful for Pastor Gabe. He just offered me an opportunity this morning to just bring a word. And he's been doing such a great job leading us and talking to us about this series. Hasn't it been great? Yeah, amen. So I just wanted to share what it means to have hope for your future. Hope for your future, in case you were thinking you might have misplaced that this week. Right? If you were one of the Olympians who didn't actually make your trial time. You know, how many watched the opening ceremony this week? Did you see that? That was fun. No, oh, just a handful of you. Okay, so what were the rest of you doing? You were at the couples retreat, right? You were here at the workshop, right? You are so good. Very good for you. Such a responsible group of people. So, you know, the wonderful thing about the Olympics is it's so hopeful and so inspiring, yeah? Yeah, we always cheer for the winners. Yay, gold medals. We always do that gold medal count, right? But we never hear that much about the losers, do we? Right? Not unless you really, really, really screw up, right? Then you're famous for all the wrong reasons, right? We see your video repeated over and over. Remember the theme of the Olympics from years ago? The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, and that poor guy like wiping out, right? Do you remember that? Yeah, we get to see your failure over and over again. That's painful, isn't it? Yeah, we know what it is to live in painful moments of our life. Well, let me just put this right. I know what it is to live in painful moments of my life and have lived through some of those painful, defeating things. You know, I had this delusion once that I actually could be athletic. Thank you. You can laugh, it's okay. And I got taught, I do CrossFit now. I'm the last one done, just so you know. I'll just confess it. I'm always the last one done. And I did a biathlon, and it was like a 5K run and a 30-mile bike ride in hill country, okay? And I don't know what I was thinking, but I went with friends, and I thought, oh, of course I can do this. And you know, between the little 5 run and you go hop on your bike and you go ride the hills. And for me, I throw up the first hill, you know, it's just such a great experience, right? And I'm riding my little heart out and I'm ready to quit. And I will not repeat what my friend said to me because she didn't want to be there at all. And it was basically, you are not going to have permission to quit, but it's not repeatable in church because she was not happy. But we did the whole thing. We biked the 15 miles out the hills and we biked the 15 miles back. Oh, dear Lord. And, you know, this is what it means to be last. When you cross that finish line and they take the sign down right behind you, that's what it means to be last. I have experienced that. Those patient people driving the course, wondering where we were. Yeah. So, you know, there's that feeling of what it is to be behind or be, the bottom or not always feeling great, right? This is Valentine's week, right? Gosh, at least some people wear pink. Good for you. I bless you. And, you know, some of you have a date for us single people. Don't worry, it's okay. All the chocolate goes on half price on Thursday. There is hope for us yet. You have a reason to celebrate too. It's okay. So not to worry. Yeah. There's always something, you know, there's always something to celebrate. I always chuckle at one of our pastors, I won't tell their name, who laughingly one day said, don't give me one more word about breakthrough. I have so many of them already. And I'm still waiting for them. So please don't give me one more. You know, I'm here, I'm waiting, I'm right here, I'm here. I'm still here. You know, sometimes we wait and we think, where did it go and what happened and why am I still here and where is that breakthrough I've been waiting for all this time? And yet, here's what I want to read to you today. In Jeremiah, you know, have you heard about Jeremiah? Have you ever heard of this guy, Jeremiah? Yeah, Jerry, good old Jerry. In chapter 31, verse 17, he said this. Actually, he didn't. He brought us this word. It says, there is hope for your future, declares the Lord. Now, good old Jerry didn't say that. He just repeated what the Lord told him. So I think I need to read it for you again. Let me read it for you again. It says, "There is hope for your future, declares the Lord." Is that good news for you? Yeah, then say it with me. There is hope for your future. That's good. I think you need to tell your neighbor, there is hope for your future. Just in case you were wondering. You know, so if you lose that figure skating competition, there is hope for your future. No matter how it goes this week. You can be without that Valentine's date. That's okay. There is hope for your future. Thursday is coming. That's right. For those of you who didn't do so well last week in the Super Bowl game, Patriots, it's okay. There is hope for your future too. There will be another game and you will play again. But Jeremiah was also sometimes called the weeping prophet. I don't know about you, but that wouldn't be a very good name to have. That's not a great nickname. You know, those are one of those things that you probably want to trade in after a while. But he had it tough. You know, he got called by God to go and give the word to Israel when Israel was really just not on their best behavior. Let's just say that. They were doing everything to not be Israel. But God sent Jeremiah, and he was faithful in his call, and he went, and he told them that is not what the Lord has told you, and you need to be doing this, and this is the Lord's word for you. And he was faithful in that word, and they still didn't listen. And after he told them, they still, what happened to them? They went into exile. And poor Jeremiah, he ended up in exile with those naughty Israelites, and it wasn't his fault. You know, they sinned, and they didn't listen, and they ended up in exile, just like the Lord warned them they would. But Jeremiah, he ended up there with them. I mean, I don't know about you, but that doesn't seem fair to me. Does that seem fair to you? It doesn't seem fair to me. The one guy who actually got it right ended up suffering in the same way as the rest of his people. Anybody want to be a prophet? Y'all ready? You're all ready to sign up now, aren't you? Yeah, that exciting lifestyle of being put out in exile. Just in case you thought you might escape the same fate of the words you give. No. So I appreciate Jeremiah. He's known as our weeping prophet. He is there. He's in the same outcast country. It is messy. It is ugly. There are some verses I will not read to you. They are not polite, especially since the parenting seminar is coming up. They are hungry. They are outcast. They are miserable. They have lost absolutely everything. And Jeremiah, at the end of his rope, writes this thing. Have you heard of the book of Lamentations? When you're having a bad day, you can read Lamentations. Here's a word for you. I'm going to read it to you from the Message. It's in chapter 3, verse 17. From the Message Bible, I thought it might be a little easier to grasp. But this is Jeremiah's thought. I gave up on life altogether. I have forgotten what the good life is like. I said to myself, this is it. I'm finished. God is a lost cause. You know, that's what it feels like to be on the bottom. That's what it feels like to be on the bottom, doesn't it? And I feel like he captures that so well. And especially when we feel like, how did this happen to me? And we always like to say, how did I deserve this? Well, you probably never deserved it. But you're still there anyway. Well, Jeremiah didn't deserve that either. And yet here he is. In Lamentations, he just pours it all out before the Lord. And if you want to have a great relationship with the Lord, then get honest with God like he does. Including saying, I'm ready to give up my hope. He wasn't just having a bad day, he was having a bad life. Because unlike us that gets to see sometimes the happy ending, you know, I think Disney has done us a disservice, by the way. I watch lots of Disney movies, don't get me wrong. I like Disney, but I think they've done us a disservice. They always give us a happy ending. But you know what? Sometimes it doesn't end happy. But it can end well. Okay? And we sometimes want an outcome when what God is really trying to give us is a relationship with himself. And we need to understand that. In this same chapter of Lamentations, chapter 3, this is also what Jeremiah says. In verse 21, he says this I recall to my mind, and therefore I have hope. The Lord's loving kindnesses indeed never cease, for his compassions never fail. They are new every morning. Great is your faithfulness. The Lord is my portion, says my soul. Therefore, I have hope in him. Amen. Say it with me again. There is hope for my future. Because your future is not based on your circumstances. Your future is based on the nature and the character of Jesus Christ. We need to quit waiting for an outcome and start pinning the truth of all of our hopes on him. In him. You are in him. You are in him. God didn't run out of plans or options, ideas, but he does know how to give us hope.